stir some shit?
Good.
What is this whole thing?
Oh, try to get a few giggles, get some people talking, you know. So I'm a political satirical cartoonist and try to get, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I didn't
my
know
work.
you made these.
Oh yeah, I'd be a real moron to
I like that one a lot.
stay out here and catch abuse for someone else's work.
You made that?
Yeah.
Who drew it?
Yeah. You guys going to school? What you doing?
I go to Loyola.
Do you really? So you're local?
Misogynist for Hillary 2016. Do you like agree with all of your stuff?
Yeah. This is, I'm an artist. This is how I see the world. This is what I do. And I love to debate. If someone wants to come along and I got a different idea, well, persuade me. You know, let's put it all on the table here. Sort of like a talk show radio without the walls.
Well, that's like a brave thing to listen to people, you know?
I guess. Either that or completely idiotic. I don't know.
So funny.
Not really. They want it all.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you said they want it all?
Yeah. It's not, you know. At the beginning, they only wanted to have.
Okay.
What are you studying?
Environmental science.
Ah, and yourself?
Oh, I've got something for you.
Oh, let's see it.
Oh, yes.
What? Let's hear it.
I would ask you to do this.
Okay.
I'm going to ruin your whole life now.
Okay, tell me.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Next time you get in front of a computer, look this up. Weather weapons.
Yes.
And the history of weather modification programs.
Yes. No, I know the weather weapon's a thing.
Oh, wonderful.
But, like, that's just, like, hurricanes and shit. And, like,
No,
like
it gets
that.
a bit deeper than that.
Well, when we're talking about, like, carbon emission and stuff like that, and, like, how it's heating up our, like, atmosphere, like, that's different than, like, weather weapons and, like, and whatever.
Here's the deal. And here's the premise. The whole talk is about carbon emissions. How much carbon is in the air? Well, how much carbon is in the air?
A shit ton.
Percentage-wise, what percentage of the atmosphere is made up of carbon dioxide?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know that percentage. I know that it's 50% of all emissions.
Again, as we're talking about CO2 being the big boogeyman, and we have to reduce that. Yeah. We have to have an idea of where it is now and what would be the optimum level.
You can look up graphs.
Am I correct?
Yeah, no, you can.
All right, so that should be very basic.
Will the optimum level be like 50%? Because
well, again, 50% of what? What percentage of the atmosphere is now currently carbon dioxide? So what 50% of what? What percentage of this entire atmosphere that we're breathing in is carbon dioxide?
I literally can't tell you that, but it's...
Yet you're in environmental studies.
No, I don't know the percentage, but
I will tell you.
Graphs to you.
I will tell you.
Tell me how much it is.
Because it is the main focus of the whole global warming
let's
thing,
hear
right?
It. Let's hear it.
It is a trace element. It is 0.04%. It makes less than half of 1%. And it's been that for over 100 years. It reached its peak during the Jurassic period when there was no carbon emissions, no SUVs, no planes. It was at 6%. So why then do they pick on that as the boogeyman? Because of the weather weapons we brought up, of the weather modification programs, those are the things that we're playing with that are screwing up the environment, but they want to put a beard on it. So what do? They blame us. Oh, it's your carbon footprint, because everybody produces carbon.
Yeah.
Well, in order to produce a one-world government, you need a one-world tax. And if we all breathe out carbon, we become taxable. Our carbon footprint now, we are taxable, the things we do. So, that is the basic for the world government, the globalists. So it is a complete hoax. It is a beard. It is putting the blame on us when it is the weather weapons programs, the geoengineering programs that are going on that they will not tell us about, because you will never hear about Dr. Ben Livingston, the father of weather weapons, in any climate change debate.
Yeah.
You will not hear about Eisenhower forming the Department of Weather and Climate Modification in 1954.
Yeah.
You will not hear President Eisenhower in 1961 say, we will use today's technology to control the weather. You will not hear about Ben Livingston from 68 to 72 using weather weapons in Vietnam, which made the UN pass the UN Weather Weapons Treaty ban in 74, banning the use of weather weapons.
Yeah.
We don't ban things we don't have.
That's all irrelevant.
How's
That's
that?
all irrelevant.
How's that irrelevant?
What's going on?
How
I
is
understand what you're saying.
the control
You
of the
can, like, you can
climate and
control-
modification of the
I don't
weather
think- I don't think
irrelevant to environment?
I think that they like control the storms and stuff, but like as far as like I said, like carbon emission and stuff, like that actually addresses us.
Well, that's a beard. They don't even give a damn about that. It doesn't make any difference. As I said, it's a half of 1%. It doesn't mean anything.
No, okay, I don't believe that honestly, but no, I'm sorry, I just don't.
Well, I mean, you can believe whatever you want, but I'm saying,
I'll look it up.
yeah.
But like another thing too, whenever I say like me and Zaya, like whenever we're saying we study the environment, like people assume it's just all about like the carbon dioxide.
No,
But it's
I'm just
also
bringing
about,
up one
like,
aspect
animals
of
and
it. There
stuff.
are other things.
Yeah.
We do pollute.
Yeah.
We do mess with the environment in a lot of different ways besides that. I just like harping on that one
The
aspect
weather
of it because
It's like, yeah, we never talk about it. Like, what is it?
to me that makes it extremely suspect when they talk about global warming and then taxing us for it. But in other ways, yes, thank you for your studies and finding out and how we could go ahead and best live, with our environment better.
Yeah.
I think we ought to listen to the Quakers and the Native Americans. They probably can give us a better hint about how to do things than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
But yeah, I'll look up the stat.
yeah, please do. It's just, as I said, I'll probably get you in trouble with your teachers, and you'll probably find out things that are probably.
What is that? How will the rate?
Uranium One deal. Yeah, Uranium One is a scandal. During the Obama administration, there was the Russians were trying to quarter the uranium market in the world. So they approached the Obama administration and they agreed to sell the Russians 20% of our uranium. Now, why we would do that to begin with is a mystery. Because we import uranium, we need it. And why sell it to anybody, especially Russia?
Yeah.
Well, Clinton signed off on that along with 9 other agencies, including Obama, to sell uranium, the company Uranium One, which was under investigation at the time for fraud, bribery, you name it. So they signed off on this. Well, who benefited from it? To date, the only people we can find that benefited from it was Hillary Clinton. She received $145 million to the Clinton Foundation from people that benefited from that deal. And her husband, of course, upped his fees to $500,000 a speech, met with Putin a week before the deal went through. But here's the kicker. An FBI informant was in the Uranium One deal, and he has all the information on the payoffs, everything. They put a gag order on him. That was relinquished about 3 weeks ago by Trump. He's been talking to Congress. Monday, he testifies live before Congress. He's got videos of suitcases full of Russian money, agents, to go ahead and present and show the corruption of the entire Obama administration, treason, selling our uranium to Russia.
Yeah, but doesn't Donald Trump love Russia then?
What do we have? Why would we not love Russia?
Wait,
what have they ever done to us? I beg pardon?
Oh, well then.
I mean, really, what has Russia ever attacked us?
No, I'm saying that why are you mad that we sold? I mean, I understand it's bad that we need the uranium, but
yeah, but why would we sell it to anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
At least we like
the
Russia.
question. Well, the deal. I mean, understand they're an adversary, but they also are the most like us. I mean, they're a white Christian nation who's trying to fight the globalists.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's work together and defeat ISIS. Let's work together and defeat the central bankers. and let's, become sovereign, strong nations again. And because the globalists are exactly what they say they are. Globalist. Well, every tyrant wants to control the world.
Yeah.
That's their goal. Well, he put a big wrench in that because he stopped the TPP from forming. He put a wrench in the Paris Accords. All these are economic blocks that are forming to take the decision-making further and further away from the individual.
Yeah.
So that's worked. So I'm glad to see you're inquisitive. You're going to be a brilliant student. And probably a success at everything you do.
I want to be successful.
Well, I think you got a big leg up right there. Just want to be, and
thank you.
And again, having the the ability to listen and ask questions and do what you're doing. So God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I wish my dad was here.
I'd like to shake his hand and say thank you very much for producing this fine individual.
Thank you.
So you're very, very good. Let me give you a gift. It's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Ooh, thank you.
Oh, you're
I'll keep
quite
this.
welcome.
I need it.
All right.
Bye.
Go check out my YouTube channel. You'll be on it. Probably powerful city in the world, outside of London. Did you grow up there? Did you?
Yeah, but actually not really, because the people who live in DC don't really have any power over what happens to them, since it's not a state and stuff. Like all of the law.
I know, and I know. It's like London and like the Vatican too. They're all outside of the countries that they originated.
True.
Part of the Illuminati and the whole, because it is that shadow government, I believe. What do you do there?
Well, I live in Texas now. I'm going to school.
Oh, what for? What do you take?
French and education.
Oh, seems to be a nice subject. What do you plan to do with that?
I want to start a school one day.
That'd be nice. Maybe in France, teaching them how to. No, you don't want to. You've been to France? You don't like France? Why are you learning French then?
I've known French since I was a kid, so it's just easy. I spent some time in Senegal in West Africa. They speak French there, so that was fun.
And when were you there?
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
You're a well-traveled young lady. Well, it's nice. It's a good thing to be. So what do you think of my work?
It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you. Do you spend much time looking in politics, or do you have any political bends of your own? Or do you think,
a lot of it's over my head, but I try to be aware of it. But I think U.S. politics is a bunch of bullshit.
Well, it's certainly turned into that.
Yes.
I mean,
definitely.
We get down to the hardcore of it. I mean, there's a reason a lot of other countries try to emulate us and still try to come here. It's because, if you go to other countries as you have been, you know what shitholes they can be. And, and that a lot of people here take things for granted. And if you study history a bit, you know that this isn't the first time it's happened. Countries get prosperous and they tend to get decadent, and then they go into debauchery, and then they become empires, and then they turn into idiots, and people rebel against them for the same reason they became famous to begin with.
Exactly.
So it's like a constant circle going around. But I think that your generation is going to see some titanic changes. I mean, my generation certainly saw them, but it was like a grade like this, and now it's like this.
Yeah, definitely feel something brewing, a shift in power.
Oh yeah. It's just whatever you want to call it, inertia, or whatever. And of course, the technology bleeds into that a lot, because. I mean, I watched a very eerie movie last night about the near future, that one of the possibilities that could happen, that kind of scared me. It portrayed when a breakdown, let's say an economic and ecological breakdown were to happen, and reduce the world's population dramatically, and what would happen after that, as aftermath things,
Okay.
where the resources would be basically cut off, would be down to short regions, and
Yeah.
the government, which would take over through the technology we have available, drones and chips and everything else, would be able to keep track of the few people that were left.
Yeah.
So it was too real to be.
I know what you mean.
You know,
it's like supposed to be like what's it
and
called?
what made it worse,
Dystopian, but you're like,
I know exactly.
believable.
And what made us worse is the heroes get killed at the end.
No.
Yes.
That's so
I mean, you know, at least I was going, well, shit, no wonder this didn't get popular. I haven't seen it anywhere, you know. At least give us some hope. No, they kill the damn heroes at the end. Yeah. I don't know. But good. I hope that doesn't happen to you, young lady.
Thank you.
I certainly.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, my pleasure. Here, let me give you something. This is a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton.
Thank you.
This is good for any crime in the world. So wherever you go.
Thank you.
And if you like, go check out my YouTube channel.
Definitely.
Anyway.